Radio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
And then we have our final card of the night, which was on ESPN Plus. I was actually kind of surprised that they put on ESPN Plus, but whatever. Where we had one half of an eliminator for the vacated WBO light heavyweight title that was recently given up by Canelo, in which the first eliminator fight was Eleider Alvarez, who's a former WBO light heavyweight champ, against Joe Smith Jr. Now, this fight was originally supposed to be one of the bubble fights on the summer series for ESPN until Alvarez actually had a non-COVID related injury, sickness, or whatever you want to call it. Well, he tore his bicep. So, that had to get postponed or whatever. And it was a shame, too, because it was, like I said, between that and the Baranchek fight, those were the two best fights that they announced, and they both went up in flames, for unfortunate reasons. So at least it was glad that they were able to get them rescheduled and whatnot. And basically the card before that fight happened was pretty much the Top Rank prospect showed out. I mean, one thing Top Rank does, like, they know how to find the prospects and they know how to display them. Now,
not when Clay is on the other end.
yeah, when Clay. Unless you're like someone like Clay Collard, who's also on that card, and basically, Clay Collard, MMA fighter, knocking out prospects. Basically,
at this rate, I'm about to pencil in Clay Collard for Fighter of the Year just because.
Yeah, he's legitimately up for Fighter of the Year, Prospect of the Year, KO of the Year, Upset of the Year, Round of the Year. I mean, all he needs is either Fight of the Year or a win against the top 5 dude, and he's probably Fight of the Year is almost a given for him. And that's why 2020 is so damn wild.
Yeah, because it'll be hard to give somebody Fighter of the Year if they haven't fought at least twice.
Right.
Like if Fury and Wilder were still gonna fight in December. If, like you say, if Fury beat Wilder again and it's by KO, Fighter of the Year.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen and nobody else kind of does anything, then Clay Collard, just off the fact that he's been the underdog and upset, the activity, everything.
Yeah, you have to give it to him, and then of course everyone like between 154 and 168 will want a piece of him. I know, the man Charles Conwell has been like, put him in there with me, see what happens.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah, I'm saying, College.
Somebody need to start calling out, Clay and trying to see what's good, man.
Like, I mean, I've seen a couple of fighters on Twitter talk a little greasy about him, but it's mostly because Clay Collard, and I've mentioned this before, boxing gold is the white American fighter. The white American heavyweight is top, and then after that, it's white American fighter in the other divisions. And if they can fight or if they can scrap, gold. Clay Collard is quote unquote boxing gold right now.
I think fighters are getting a little like, what is what?
I don't even think they care if they're American or not. It's just as long as they're white, like the fuck.
No.
Nah. American is just different, bro.
It's different.
It's like because Lomachenko is like with Lomachenko gets hyped like he's a damn white American. He might as well be white American. Niggas
that's a little different, bro.
He's not. He's like the Luka Doncic of boxing. Like, nigga, in the NBA, Luka Doncic.
It's a little different, bro.
It's a little different, bro.
Joe Messi had more hype than Lomachenko, bro.
And I hated Joe Messi. I didn't think. I thought he was overrated, like even before he started knocking out touches, sleeping, and then he skated by barely against Monty Barrett. You know,
Yeah, he was hyped as fuck before the damn DeVarl Williamson fight, like the touch of sleep.
yeah, man. Yeah.
He was hyped, like, and then on that same night, heavyweights, like, you know, to me he had passed the biggest test, like, you know, he KO'd the nigga named Touch of Sleep, bruh. So
Yeah, I was pissed.
early. So,
I was steaming mad at that. Like,
so after they just like you kind of just had to accept the hype, but Lomachenko, like Lomachenko hype is real, but it just different. Like Lomachenko had to do a whole bunch of shit before he kind of got that hype.
right. Messi didn't do a goddamn thing other than he spoke so well, and he was Baby Joe. You know, basically.
What was the hype for? Because I'm too young for this, but what was the hype like for like fucking Tommy Morrison back in the day?
Oh wow,
Tommy was a little different. Tommy earned his.
he was
hype.
hype, but it's like he was more the real deal type of hype.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just unfortunately he suffered some, you know, some hump. Well, the Mercer fight is one thing, but the Michael Bent knockout is, you know, that kind of set him back.
And by the time he got to Lennox, it was just, you know, he wasn't expected to win.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, Lennox pretty much beat the.
Because remember, he had the Rocky V movie. Like Tommy Morrison was hyped, but I mean, the George Foreman win was real.
Yeah, and then he had the knockout drag out fights with like Joe Hip and stuff like that, and Carter Truth Williams.
Yeah,
and even Ross Purity, which he probably should have lost that fight too. But you know,
yeah, he was entertaining. Like, you know,
yeah,
his hype was a little different. Joe Messi wasn't on that level.
Not at all. But this
he look as athletic and as.
That's what I was gonna say. I remember people thinking. That's what I'm like hype. I remember people thinking Joe Messi was a fucking bum. Like, so I'm like.
Yeah, people saying that in past tense though.
Yeah.
Like it's like the Touch of Sleep fight kind of had to made everybody fall back a little.
Right, you know, I couldn't say shit, and then onto the Monty Barrett fight where he got.
Then everybody got loud again after the Monty Barrett fight.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, no, and that's the type of hype that I see with Clay Collard right now, because Caleb Plant has been champion. He has not gotten this type of press like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about fucking Caleb Plant deserves it, honestly.
Caleb Plant,
yeah,
you know,
but Caleb Plant ain't as active, man. Like Collard, see, this is what people's forgetting in boxing. When you active and you constantly fighting every other month, it's hard for your name to go away, and these guys don't understand that.
Yeah. And then plus I think Caleb Plant, you know, he's more of like the John B of boxing. He's not like what, because you know he has the black, you know, white.
Yeah, he's more better comparison.
I mean,
he's the
Drew goes to the same barbershop as I do. He gets that number 2 in the chair and shit like that.
Better comparison. He's the Jason Williams of boxing. The white chocolate.
Yeah,
he
definitely.
He rocks the same hairstyle as him too.
Yeah, that's definitely like he's not the typical, the Messi or Jason Litzau American boy.
He's not the typical American cornbread, corn white, that kind of white.
Yeah, like you don't have that Kelly Pavlik vibe. Like you got videos of him in the hood.
That's the guy I was gonna say. Kelly Pavlik, on the other hand, had that great white hype vibe.
Yeah, and I hated that too. I hated that.
But I actually
I couldn't stand Kelly Pavlik.
Nah, I respected Kelly Pavlik because Kelly Pavlik wasn't a hype job to me. Like I didn't think he was a hype job.
I just didn't like because he just looked racist, even though he wasn't. I didn't like this. all his crew looked like fucking neo skinheads. I couldn't stand him. You know.
Yeah, I didn't like how he looked, but I didn't trip off of that. I wasn't really a fan of his boxing style, even though he was entertaining. Like I was like, damn, he looked too beatable.
Like his hands were so his feet were so slow, but his hands were so fucking heavy. That's why I can't he throw these slow ass combos, and like the combo that he bodied Jermaine Taylor with was so slow, but Jermaine Taylor like it was like.
That's what I was gonna say. He bodied Jermaine Taylor. That's what I'm like, nah, this dude is legit. Like.
Yeah, I mean, no one's saying he's not legit. Like he was legit. Like, and before Taylor, like he bodied Miranda.
Yeah. You know,
the Taylor fight shit, like the rematch. I thought he looked like shit in the rematch.
Yeah, but they gave it to him.
They gave it to him. I didn't even think he won that shit, man. Like, to be honest, like, and
Nah, it was
Taylor
close, but I
fight,
thought he got it. I thought he had the second one, but I can understand why.
I think because he hurt Taylor like late in the fight, but I thought he was getting his ass boxed up all night.
Yeah.
I remember the argument Merchant and Letterman had. It did look like Taylor was throwing and landing the harder punches.
Right. But that's
niggas were having that shit.
But that's what we mean by like the hype and shit like that, like the white American hype. Like sometimes it'll carry you far, and until certain things may either legitimize you or it may finish you. And Clay Goskins, like right now, I mean, he's on the peak of a wave right now. I mean, he fought on that card. He knocked out the dude in like 2 rounds. And in fact, he had him. He almost, he had him in the corner ready to tee off. Like he hit him with like 2 shots, and the referee was like, "Whoa, no, his head's snapping back here. We gotta stop this." So like Clay Collard, I have to say something. Like I think his boxing has improved, and I think his hands might actually be legitimately heavy. Because he's like, I mean, that the way he punches is like these cats are getting lumped up by him easy, But I mean, they're like jobbers. Well, if they're not prospects, some of them are like the last 2 fights were like jobbers, But
remember, that's what he was supposed to be. So
yeah.
Unless he's king of the jobbers, I mean,
yeah. It's he's an interesting guy. Like I mean, he's humble about it. Like he always says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back as soon as COVID's over. I'm gonna go back to MMA." So, Top Rank is going to milk this for as much because I think the Top Rank staff like loves him. Like I know
he's going to go to MMA. Dude, like you better stay your ass in boxing.
Yeah, nah, stay your ass in boxing. That would be a stupid idea.
The way he says that, like MMA had just stopped. Like, bro, MMA still going on.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I guess dude loves his MMA too much, but I mean, because I remember in the story, he said he only started boxing because he needed to pay the bill. So I mean, he's good at it. Keep the train rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something with it. See if he can. I mean, he could probably get himself a big fight probably next year somewhere. If he sticks with it. It really raises profile, but. He's I mean, he keeps rolling forward. Hopefully he'll get a better nickname other than saying Cassius Clay Collard.
Yeah, I fucking hate that shit.
Hate it. Cassius Clay, like no, bro, like you.
I mean, wait, that's better than a generic Joe Smith. Like y'all getting on Joe.
Well, I always called him Joe the Plumber.
Joe the Plum. Is Joe a geese? How would your ass in the ring? Joe will knock you the fuck out, Smith Jr.
Yeah, no. And then of course, I mean, and also in that card, I mean, they had damn, who's going to the damn drive-through? There we go.
Not me. No, sorry, I was kicking cans around.
Fuck, like now you want to be Clay Collard?
Right?
Shit, I want my hype.
Nigga got inspired.
Oh man, but
I could beat up some cans too, guys.
And then also, I think in the co-main event they had Rob Grant, who, as I mentioned before on the last podcast, he either bodies you or gets bodied himself. Against Vitaly Kopalenko. And in this case, he bodied somebody in the final round when he closed it.
Hey yo, man, you gonna have to TKO that can on me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to mute you. I'm sorry.
It's
done. I won by majority decision.
No, it ain't done yet. You can't. You rematch that shit if it's majority decision. What the fuck? We knock out cans on ring game, nigga. Nah.
But yeah, Rob Grant, he bodied somebody too. So hopefully he gets another shot at some big middleweight fight soon. Because I think he's trained by Bomac now, and there was definitely an improvement in his boxing a little bit. So yeah,
somebody got to fight a top opponent over there.
Yeah, exactly. So and then and of course it takes us to our main event. As I mentioned before, eliminator for the WBO light heavyweight title. Now, before this fight, I mean, obviously we all understood that both men had power, both men had some chins on them, and so it's just like, who's going to hurt who first? Well, in this fight, it was Joe Smith that actually hurt Alvarez first. He broke his nose actually. Now, I mean, I was
just
like,
kept
Alvarez,
hurting him and beating his ass.
Yeah, boy, I was dead wrong on this one.
Yeah, same here.
yeah, Alvarez was a tough guy, and I've seen him take all types of shots, even Kovalev shots. But man, like it took 2 rounds for him to like start bleeding profusely from his nose.
Well, I mean, like I said, I felt that.
We said Joe Smith hit harder.
Yes, I feel personally that Joe Smith, punch for punch, is a harder hitter than Kovalev.
You know what? He swings harder than Kovalev does too. Like Kovalev, you could tell it's like precision, well placed, long punches that connect at the end, maximum output. Whereas Joe is just, he gets you in his range and he's swinging hard at you. Like,
Like it's like, I mean, what was more impressive too was it seemed like he was able to, he improved on his pacing and his work rate too, because for at least like 4 or 5 rounds, dude was handing out a steady ass whooping on Alvarez, and Alvarez was taking this shit too. And I'm like, it's like, how's is he playing is he like rope dope or something like that? Like, how is he still standing?
Yeah,
I'd rather all the punches. That's why.
Yeah. I'd rather take a jab from Kovalev than a fucking left hook from Joe Smith Jr. God damn.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything from Joe Smith. So you know what? Fuck that. We up here giving Clay we giving Clay the fighter of the year. Shit, that shit could be Joe Smith.
Yeah. Joe the Plumber Smith.
Yeah, I know that fight, but
it cleaned up 175 a little bit.
Well, he probably won't get it in this year, but probably next year. If he unifies, if he gets a belt and then he unifies against Better Beef, then shit, like that will be it.
Yeah, shit, that could be, that's a 50-50 fight to me. But him beating Hart and Alvarez this year, yeah.
Yeah, Alvarez like Joe Smith's work rate did drop a little bit, and Alvarez was able to rock him with a couple right hands, and
never followed up.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe Alvarez is, he's waiting, and Alvarez is waiting for that right hand too. Like he was, like you could, he was really measuring. Like he made it very obvious that he was trying to take Joe out with one punch. Like there wasn't a lot of combinations.
Yeah, that's the shit that fucking pissed me off. Like the one punch that he hit out, and I even texted LB. He hit one fucking punch that rocked Joe Smith Jr., and then he follows it up with nothing.
Listen, I'm good. I just want to show y'all I could hurt him.
Yeah, exactly. And then and he did have a good round in the 8th round too. And I thought to myself, like, okay, Joe needs to bite down and actually win these rounds so it doesn't go to the cards. And then probably within a few seconds, dude lands a crushing right hand. Like the impact was like boom, and then a power jab. And basically Alvarez is Geese Howarded out of the ring onto the apron. Like you can see Alvarez, and that's the first time I've ever seen.
References never make me stop laughing.
And that's the first time I think I've ever seen Alvarez down. I don't know if he's been dropped before. I don't think he has, but that was the first time I've ever seen him down and hurt
and busted up.
Wait, he hasn't been dropped before? I could have sworn he was dropped before.
I mean, in his biggest fights, he wasn't, not even close to being dropped. And I saw him live against Pascal too, and he wasn't supposed to be dropped.
I seen them SNK credits roll by.
Yeah. Like Alvarez was lying on that apron, like he was all fucked up, but he still managed to get through. But it was just a second too late. Weeks called that shit off. Like
I feel like Weeks could have let that shit go, but he was like, nah. You can't come back and fight after falling off the top of a building.
Yeah, nope.
That was. I mean, that fight might be more impressive than the Fanfara and the B Hopkins wins, man. So it's just like, that one I think actually showed the boxing and the power mixing together. That they were in sync with him. Because
the work rate, the determination, like.
Yeah.
damn, like yeah, Joe Smith, like yeah, good showing.
So now he's the mandatory or
No, it basically it's a round robin right now. So there's two eliminators. He's now actually he's actually just won the right to face a winner of two other fighters. They haven't scheduled it yet, but the
round robin for the damn WBO. Well, what is this world coming? God damn.
Yeah, they gonna have Joe Smith clear out half the division before he get a title shot.
Yeah. But his next fight is a title shot, you know. So I mean, then we can get some unification.
Then we can get some
Hopefully they don't
unification.
Dylan White his ass.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Because I was reading on Twitter, one of the top ranked guy was like, someone asked him about if Joe Smith wins, would they put him in against Better Beef, and they're like, yeah, we'll do that. So I mean, that's definitely. I mean, that fight. If Joe Smith wins that belt, a Better Beef unification is.
Man, he got a legit shot against Better Beef. I don't care what nobody says.
I'll give him. I mean, you gotta give him a puncher's chance. Honestly, I feel like the
got
guy.
more than a fucking puncher's chance, bruh.
We'll see. Should be a good advertisement.
Gets hit.
I feel like the guy that I guess we're gonna get Joe Smith and Better BF, but I feel like the guy that really needs a fucking fight with Joe Smith, that really needs somebody to push him is. I didn't forget about him. Where are you, Mr. B-Ball?
Well, Joe Smith already lost to B-Ball.
Yeah.
I want him, but I want to do it. I want him to run it back again. I feel like he'd do better again.
I don't. I saw the fight.
I'm good.
I'm good on that.
I feel like he'll do. I honestly feel like he'd do a better chance again this time.
No, I'm sorry. I watched this fight live. I can't see it. Like before, won 11 rounds out of that fight, out of the 12 rounds.
Bro, both of y'all are right. But the thing is, I see where what's his name? King P. King P basically saying it like, look, Joe Smith is fighting like he got the juice right now.
Yeah, he's in his prime now.
Yeah, like everything is rolling. Like it's like he improved off like, the Hart and Alvarez performances were like money. And,
you know what I'm saying? So he should run it back with him. Because I think he'd do a lot better.
That's only if that's it. But to me, Joe Smith got to make that decision. Like he the one got to be calling out and be like, "Oh man, I want a rematch for Bivol." If not, then it's like whatever. Go against somebody else because Bivol did beat this man.
I just feel like Bivol hasn't like done anything like really lately. Like kind of like you need you know what? Fuck it. If he wins, get the juice again, beat him again. Like because I feel like.
Bivol already beat all the niggas who getting their juice again. He beat Pascal. He beat Joe Smith.
I mean,
all these niggas is having their runs after Bivol beat him.
Yeah, like and that looks good. And that looks good for him. I mean, he knocked out Pereira. Like he beat Chalumba. It's like like these are clear victories. Like these weren't close.
Yeah, no. I definitely give him his props.
He just Bivol hasn't done nothing lately.
Yeah.
Niggas he beaten damn elevated. Like
that's what I'm saying. They're putting themselves in better positions to fucking get at him again. But I get it.
But I mean, I would welcome a rematch, but only if better fights have actually happened first. It's
if he beats Better Beef and he wants a rematch, go ahead.
Yeah, like get that last belt from. But I welcome a Better Beef fight first before a Bivol fight.
Yeah. And shit, if Zerto wants some, he could get it too.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I mean, cause shit, we getting on Bivol, Zerto's done even less.
Yeah, Zerto.
Yeah, but I mean, Zerto wasn't even that good at 168. So I mean.
Yeah, but we can't match him up with 168 cats no more. We gotta shit on him for 175 shit.
Right.
He's not gonna be better at 175.
I mean, I just want to see him. I just want to see if that could happen because it's 175. You got too many sharks.
Exactly.
If he's gonna lose, just fight somebody and lose already, damn it.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you.
Like his name is just floating around for no reason. Fuck, Hart already fought somebody and lost. Like literally the division's moving on without them Zerto.
And he's a free agent too, so like you don't know where he is right now.
Yeah, Waldo will come back when he's ready, but Joe Smith is now.
Yeah, and like I said, Joe Smith, and I always think too, if Joe Smith wins that belt, you gotta put the machine behind him for sure. Like, dude, like construction guy, owns like a tree cutting company, the world title, shit. Yeah, they're gonna milk that for him. I guarantee it. But Joe Smith definitely earned his hype, and he earned that victory.
Yeah,
so,
he has the juice.
Yeah, he got the juice, definitely.
Yeah, major props for him on that.
I think it's time for Alvarez to retire.
I think he is. Alvarez trainer was just put out the word saying that he thinks he needs to retire because Alvarez, I think, spent so much of his prime chasing the big fights, and when he got them, although he managed to win the title, I think it was just too late in his prime for it. And it's unfortunate.
He aged out, man. He have. It's like his boxing skills just weren't consistent enough, man, to when he got all these the bigger fights because he just waits and waits and waits. He got so used to waiting outside of the ring, he waits in the ring.
Yeah, he waited so long to take a shot at a title. Like I said, and even in the first Kovalev fight, I don't know if he was actually winning that on the cards. I don't think.
Nah, he was losing that shit.
Yeah. And Kovalev just
happened. The thing is, he was fighting behind him, but he was being competitive though. Like he was still landing on Kovalev. Like with Joe Smith, he just got washed.
Yeah, big time. So Alvarez should definitely try to hang him up, get out while he can,
Yeah, he got a nice KO of the year candidate early,
right?
But then he becomes one himself. Live by the KO, die by the KO.
Die by the KO.
Word. Oh man.
Fly by the KO. That nigga flew out the ring. Man.
Something about Joe Smith and punching people out the ring.
Yeah,
that's why he got the official Geese Howard Award, man. You put somebody out the ring, that's what it is. But we got one more thing we got to touch on, bro.
Yeah. So what's that one thing you want to touch on?
Let King P set this one up. Let's give him the honor.
So